Yeah. Personally, I've been a part of the Neolife opportunity, Bugembe Andrew, for the last couple of years. I'm very, very proud to be associated with Neolife because of the work that we do that is literally changing people's lives. I don't think there's any other organization in this world that effectively improves people's health like the way Neolife does. I need to find one. I know. Um, an organization, a company, a group of people that have put in their all for the last 65 years to see that we live a longer, healthier life. I don't think there's any company I've come across of that nature. And that also means that when we talk about Neolife, we should have an idea how we're actually doing this with the different people out there. So allow me to share my screen. I'll just see whether it is clear as expected. See if I can. Okay. Looks like I can't really make. Well, I hope that is a lot clearer. I'm trying to see whether I can make this other side smaller, but oh, okay, good. That's come very clear. Yeah, so when you get your kit as a distributor, part of the things that come through, and please allow me to take off my video so that you can remain getting proper reception. When you become a distributor, one of the things you quickly pick up on is, one of the things that you quickly pick up on that you get in your kit is your Neolife product catalog. Yeah, it has feel better, look better, live better. This particular one is for East Africa. So the one for East Africa will definitely have products that are sold in the East African market. That is Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. So you'll find that very interesting. So the history of the Neolife business, something that I think we also should pride ourselves in. The fact that Neolife is family owned gives an opportunity to every distributor to be able to pass on this Neolife opportunity, this Neolife business that you're building right now to the next generation. Yeah. Right now we have Jerry Brasfield. On the right, we have Suzanne Brasfield. And then on the left, we have Kendra Brasfield, who is our CEO. And Jerry is our founder. The reason why it's important for us to use the products because it is upon using the products that you develop your story. Okay? Your story is very, very important when it comes to using the products because when you use the products, you have a story to share and you have a story to tell. And through that story that you share and that story that you're telling people, you are able to create more movement of the products. Yeah, so Jerry Brasfield's story is in the product catalog. And Jerry talks about, this is Jay. Sorry, I need to do something here with, just a minute. His phone is on. Okay. So what happens is that Jerry shares the story in there. He shares with us the story how, as a young boy, suffered from severe asthma and allergies, determined to find relief for her sick son. Jerry's mother began adding quality nutritional products to his daily diet. Please note the word quality nutritional products. Not all nutritional products out there are quality. Neolife products are quality nutritional products. It was then that he discovered the profound impact of quality supplements, the profound impact quality supplements could play in helping to restore good health. Because of his passion for helping others, Jerry began sharing this powerful testimony. So Jerry started sharing this powerful testimony with those around him and realized that most people were in need of a solution to lack of good nutrition. Sharing the products and working with others to set and achieve both health and financial goals turned out to be a financially rewarding home-based business. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's out of us sharing our stories that we're able to build business all together. So, as you look through the product catalog, that is something that you'll find very, very clear. So Jerry has gone on together with a number of us who are in the business that have studied this business. We have an opportunity to build a beautiful, big, multi-million-dollar business ourselves. All right. Another area the catalog really talks about is the fact that we offer different solutions. So right there in your catalog, you'll find a number of solutions that have been put out for people to be able to quickly pick up on a page and be able to share with the other person that you're trying to show how the products help. I think one of the things you've had us using this word quite a lot, end the trend. Yeah, we're trying to end the trend of poor health and poverty. When you do use the products and you are accustomed to using the products, you will definitely begin to fight chronic disease at its core. And some of the things you hear us when we talk about ending the trend, help us end the trend, end the trend. We're talking about ending the trend of chronic disease as something that we are very, very much attached to. It's one of those things. In fact, it's a purpose that we do have in Neolife as distributors. Okay. The other thing that you're going to so realize as we go through the catalog, one thing they have been able to put out very clearly is the Neolife difference. Neolife difference is very important. When you have your product catalog with you, it's very important because many people today have come up with all sorts of companies that, in quotes, do nutritional supplements. Yeah, I've been to places and people are posting all sorts of things in certain groups, and they've put up all sorts of posters, and they are talking about how this supplement helps this and this supplement helps that. But it's important that as a distributor, you appreciate the Neolife difference. Yeah, one thing that I'm going to probably now call upon Dr. Esezza, someone else on the call, maybe Margaret, to clearly elaborate is that statement we oftentimes use. Because sometimes people ask you, but yeah, you people say your products have no side effects. Yeah, and they also being made in a factory, you know? So Neolife, the Neolife difference is that what we have in Neolife is best in nature and it's backed by science. Okay? It's best in nature and backed by science. That answers the question and the fact that many of the products that we take in, like TNN, are truly, for example, like TNN, truly whole grains that have been extracted. It's a whole, that lipids and steroids that have been extracted from the rice, the soya, and the wheat that we are taking in that capsule that has been properly prepared, backed by science, to be able to offer the solution we are looking for. Yeah, so maybe at this particular moment, I'd like to have Margaret Amulavu come in and perhaps explain more when it comes to the catalog, in particular to do with that page? We said we are going to do this together. I hope I'm not ambushing anyone.
Hi, Andrew.
Yes.
Morning, how are you?
Very well. Thank you, Margaret. How are you?
I think I missed out something there. What did you ask me to do?
I kindly asked you to, we are going through the product catalog and we are going through page by page. We are now on this Neolife difference page. It would be nice for you to help us on the call this morning to appreciate why that page is there and why we need to appreciate the Neolife difference.
Okay. Thank you so much. The new catalog is really amazing, and I would encourage everybody to get the new catalog. I know even there are people who don't know that there is a new catalog, but there are a lot of things that the Neolife difference is really the thing that makes us apart, sets us apart from all the other companies that are also selling their nutritional products, because they're quite a number. And if you realize more and more are coming in, but this difference is really the thing that makes us stand out, and we cannot be compared with any other company. Just the fact that things are natural is not good enough. They have to be backed up by some research, some work that has been done, some groundwork that is recorded. And the Neolife difference is so major because they've got what they call peer reviews. There are magazines that are done worldwide that check and verify that what you said is actually what there is in whatever it is that you're claiming to have. And that is what is very, very significant for us, because they not only just say they're natural, they go down and prove that they are, and then of course get other people who are in the same training, not necessarily Neolife people, to review and give their side of the story, such that it's just not only us. Because if you make something and you test it and you're also the one proving it, it may not really have all that you're saying it does. But if somebody else who is in the same line, who is a professional as you are, but in a different line, checks and verifies it, that can give you proof that it is actually there. And that's why you're seeing so many things on the right side down there, so many colored magazines. Those are called peer review journals. And that is where, when you do research and verify, you publish after it has been checked by other people to say that we are actually confirming that what these guys are saying they have done is actually done. So I just want to say that you can be confident because of that Neolife difference and backup. First, to say that they are highly researched. One of the things that really amazes me and I find very interesting is that at the back of our bottles, out of every container, out of every, especially the supplements, you're going to find a batch number and of course a manufacturing date and an expiry date. That batch number is not just a batch number. They can actually trace it to where exactly the ingredients were picked from. Each and everything that is packaged in that bottle, they can go back to the farm they picked it up from. And the other thing about Neolife that is so major is that even if they gave a farm, like carrots come from Spain, and even if they gave that farm in Spain the carrot business to be planting for us, each time they are harvesting, they go back and do the test as if they've never picked anything from that farm. So they go back to soil testing to see the ingredients that are in that soil, if the environment is right, if the conditions were right, then they pick it up. After picking it up again, it goes to the lab. Can you imagine all that laborious process just to make sure that what you get in your hands is useful and is not contaminated and is not below any standard? That's why we say our products are up to a standard and not down to a price. Down to a price means they look at the general, but let's say South Africans can only afford things worth $50 or $5. So let's just put in an omega-3 that's only $5 because that's what they can afford, meaning they're actually pegging it to the price they think we can afford. But Neolife puts everything that they know is needed and then costs it. And that's why we are so confident. And for me, for the last 26 years, I have never looked out of Neolife. I've actually never been to another company's presentation because I say, if I've got the best, what am I doing with the rest? They have got no place in my life. Then, of course, the research, like I said, then we've got all the scientists that are well-trained. The scientists we have are the people who are called upon when something new comes to give their views and to do their own independent research because of just how far and significant they are in the world. So we are just so privileged. And then there is also a thing I like to talk about. I've always talked about bioavailability. What percentage of this product gets to work in your body? And a good example is when we got COVID, they said you needed 1,000 milligrams for vitamin C. Our vitamin C only has 500. And some people felt that ours was compromised. I said, no, you could take 1,000 milligrams and only 100 gets to work. Ours with 500, almost 90% works in your body. So you're better off using one that is lower milligrams, but well done, that works with your body and not against your body. Then the thing of potency. Potency means that if you were to stand, like especially fruits lose what we call potency. Fruits are the best to use. Like when you pick an orange, by the time you just move it from when you pick it from the plant and take it to the house, it's already losing. When you store it, it is losing. When you expose it and transport it, it is losing. So along the way, that thing we call potency gets lost. So the fruit that you picked up in the morning, if you eat it in the evening, it's not what you're getting. But Neolife has such a facility that the potency is retained to the extent that we are saying, if you take our vitamin C, it's as good as taking it from the source. It's as good as just plucking it out from a well-done plant that the soil has been tested with all the nutrients in it, with all that needed to be done in the soil, and you're eating a fresh item that has just like been plucked off the plant. So you can be sure that is what we call potency. Another thing of purity especially applies to omega-3 salmon oil. There are very many contaminants in the sea, and sometimes that's why people are scared of sea products, because the contaminants in the sea are too many. Like our omega-3 goes over 200 tests to just make sure it is pure to the extent it should be. Because if it's got any contamination, then it also gets into your system. That is just how much they do. 200 tests are just so many. And then there's also a thing that they say cold pressed. You're going to find it in especially the capsules. It just means they don't allow external air to interfere with that item when it is being done, because there's a level of oxygen, especially if it gets there, it actually damages the item. So those are very key things to note. And this information is key. I know sometimes you feel like we're giving you too much, but I'm telling you, because of the different levels and categories of people we link up with, you need to have this information. You can imagine, like, if I am just an ordinary person talking to somebody like Dr. Esezza with all our experience and our medical bit, what would I be telling her? But you see, when you get this information, when you talk to them, they feel you can relate. And that's why I thank Neolife that through trainings like this, we're able to get information where ordinarily, man, I would not have this information. I'm not a doctor, I'm not in the science field, but because of the interactions and the trainings that we get across the board, we are able to talk about these things. Then there are things that are tested and proven. And that's why Neolife can say, you take the product, if it doesn't work, you can return. We are the only company that gives a guarantee, which is in your receipt book, in your price list. There is no other company that gives guarantee. Most of the receipts, you read them. Goods once sold, not returnable. Some of them will not even want you to exchange for another thing. So I just want to assure you that these products, they work. And I tell people we don't sell products, we sell results. Thank you so much, Andrew, and I appreciate it. I hope it has been useful.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe Dr. Esezza could come in. There's a word that is in bold. Neolife products use only GMO-free ingredients. Dr. Esezza, perhaps you could just give us an insight on why it's important for us to consider, even as we go out to pick food from our supermarkets and wherever we go, why is it important for us to consider GMO-free food as a very important thing? I think sometimes people look at that, something like that, and they don't see how important that is. A lot of other companies are using products and raw materials in their supplements, and these raw materials are GMO.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. As I rush around, yes, the new catalog, I think it's one of our biggest tools. And just to mention that when you have a new customer, it's a good gift to give as a way of introducing them to the quality and the Neolife difference, so that they have a hard copy. It might be very expensive, but it's a good investment. Now, to GMO, you see what happened was that some thought came up that the world was running out of resources and we had to feed the thousands and millions of people, and we would have to therefore produce crops that were not going to be eaten up by pests. And they started also making them resistant to destruction by the herbicides that were being produced, things like glyphosate, which is a very powerful antibiotic-like chemical. And they wanted it to just kill the pests and not the plant. So with that kind of thinking, already you can see that scientists were wanting to become, as I like to put it, cleverer than God, which is wrong, in my opinion, because there are reasons for everything to exist naturally. And so by going against nature and creating genetically modified plants and organisms, what they did would be like, for example, to take genes out of, I'll give an example, out of a spider, okay, and do some gene splicing and impregnate those genes into a plant, for example, so that that plant would then be resistant to the herbicide or to the pests that would otherwise eat it, because then it wouldn't be recognized. Now, the danger there, obviously, is it's an experiment that, in my opinion, has gone quite wrong, because there are ways that nature will get around such interference and ensure that it gets back to the basics as it's supposed to be. And that is what is happening. But the effect now on us is that it is causing what I often talk about, the epigenetics, the things outside our genes, to be unveiled, such that if originally the oncogenes, the genes that would unveil cancer, for example, in the natural state would be well suppressed, are now coming to the fore. And that's because of this genetic modification of food. And remember, food is information to us. You don't eat just to fill your stomach. You are informing every single cell. And you need to know that there are genes in virtually all our cells, okay? So yeah, that interference that has happened is why we are seeing diseases skyrocket. And then our model has always been that when a disease happens, you look at the symptoms and try and stop those symptoms. Now, that is really an unfortunate approach, because the body is trying to tell you something with those symptoms. So stopping them with yet more chemicals, already there are enough chemicals and genetic modifications in the food. Then on top of that, you bring antibiotics, anti-pain, analgesics, as they're called. This sets up so many whirlpools in the body, if I can call it that, so many vicious cycles. So now where does one begin? One begins by acknowledging that, hey, there is something wrong here. And then sitting down still enough to say, how can I help the body to get back to the basics? Right back to the basics. And that's where we always begin. Start with your cell membrane. And that's why TreeNN is an invaluable product. Protect that cell membrane and regulate it properly. That's why omega-3 is good, very, very important. But which omega-3 are you going to choose? And Margaret has put it very, very well, that not all omega-3s are equal. Many are sourced from for example, the offals of fish, or they are boiled out rather than cold pressed. And so one needs to know the difference between what is happening elsewhere, which is about 95% or 98%, and what Neolife has, which has chosen to say, we are going to stand apart. I like to liken it to, we are a holy priesthood, right? We are different. We are doing things properly. And how do you get to know that? Well, that's why we have such a simple method. We are just told, use the products yourself. I mean, you know, the English idiom or the adage in English is, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You will never know until you have tested it yourself. And that's why Neolife says, use it yourself. And Margaret used the example of vitamin C. Yeah, vitamin C will give you 500 milligrams. It is sustained release. It has a technology to ensure that those 500 milligrams are released gently into your system over 6 to 8 hours. So for me, it made sense that if I can cover myself in the morning for the first 6 hours or 8 hours, and then take another one in the afternoon, I will have my 1,000 milligrams. I can even take double if I want, or I can do it 3 times a day if I want. There's nothing to stop you. And so if you notice, the container has 100 tablets, which if you really want a good spread of your vitamin C, those 100 tablets will be about a month's supply for one person, taken 3 times a day, something like that. You can titrate it, but then there is vitamin C in other products. Once you have a good quality one that will give you everything that you need, you might find that just one is enough, as the container says. So there is this assurance that we're dealing with something authentic. And to me, that is the Neolife difference. I've tested them. I use them. I've been using them. I won't stop. But then I've also introduced people and created excellent customers. For example, I'll give you an example. In fact, I'm delivering a product today. Somebody who had recurrent urinary infections, or so she thought, and as a result was on antibiotics all the time, because that is how doctors are trained to use antibiotics. And so one day I asked her, have you considered the role of cranberries, which we have in a supplement called flavonoid complex, but use it with other things? And so I went through the story of TRNN and how that enables the cells. And then you can use other things as well. I added to her vitamin A and D and flavonoid. Do you know, I have a regular, and yes, and garlic. I said, instead of using antimicrobials that are chemically prepared, use something natural, garlic. This lady is ecstatic because for the first time, and she's been ordering regularly, so now she's on maintenance. For the first time, her symptoms that she's had for a long time resolved, and resolved completely. And so now she regularly orders vitamin A and D, TRNN, garlic, and flavonoid complex. An unlikely combination, one might say, but there is logic to it. So guys, if you attended my last webinar a few days ago, I chose to talk about the logic of what we do. And that is, to me, the Neolife difference as well. Once you figure it out, you will never really be stranded as to what to advise people. And that's why we have the core nutrition first, and then the targeted solutions. And just get the logic of it. That's why we have the cleaning products. I always go back to that. So yeah, I think that's what I can add. As regards the GMOs, back to that topic, once you supply your body with enough of the non-GMO nutrients that we have, we each in our cells have the intelligence to choose right from wrong. That's how God created us. That's how we are wired. So if, for example, you give a whole lot of the wrong fat, hydrogenated oils and all that, which you shouldn't do, you should try to avoid it, obviously. But if you have, and then you on board have your TRNN and omega-3, your cells will preferentially choose the correct oil over the wrong oil. That's just a principle throughout. So if there is something GMO and something non-GMO, try and avoid the non-GMO, just get the information. But if you can't, for example, a lot of wheat products are GMO, all of them, and that's why maybe my body rebelled against them, and I decided I would stop them. You choose with your wisdom, and then you supply, because you now know the Neolife difference. So I hope that has helped. I don't think I can add anything more to that.
Yes, yes, it has, Dr. Esezza. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, as we go through all this, we're also tackling some of the objections and some of the questions that sometimes people ask. Do these things have side effects? Are they natural? You know, the catalog right there brings out all this, you know, and it's important that you're well equipped. And so moving on to the next page, the catalog showcases our philosophy in detail, that is the best in nature backed by science, but it also talks about why our products are of superior quality. Okay, why over the last couple of years, Neolife has not compromised on quality, and eventually our products actually deliver and they do what they actually are said to do. Yeah, so for perhaps some of us who have been in the business a little longer, I unfortunately got into the business when Dr. Arthur Fast had just passed on, but he had been with the company for so many years. And perhaps I could ask Ma'am, Mrs. Kanakulya, to quickly tell us a little that she knows about Dr. Arthur Fast and the Scientific Advisory Board. Why Neolife? It's also a Neolife difference. Why Neolife? Surely, as a company, that is something that sets us aside. Mrs. Kana, perhaps on that page, go ahead and share with us something.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. And I've been so privileged to have been with this company for some time, and I have seen it grow and develop and, you know, help us to believe more in the products which are on the market, because many times people come up with so many products and then you wonder which ones to go with. But along the way, I remember we used to get members from the Scientific Advisory Board to come and talk to us about the products, and it increased our believability. Now, Dr. Arthur Fast, he was the person who pioneered this Scientific Advisory Board in the 1970s. And he's the gentleman who is behind the chemotherapy. You know, he developed a product which is called BetaGuard, and that is what they thought that it would be helpful in cancer. He founded this in the Stanford Cancer Chemotherapy Lab, and this was very, very good for people. And so it helped, especially when it came to the Neolife product. It was a very good thing. So this board came about in 1976, before most of us joined Neolife. And Dr. Arthur Fast was the gentleman who started it. He was a toxicologist, because that means that he was doing a lot of work on toxins. And as you know, many times, most of us have toxins in our bodies. And that's why one of the reasons why he came up with this product, which is called BetaGuard. And some of you may not know that this product, BetaGuard, it removes even the hardest metals from our bodies. I'll give an example. Most of the water here in Uganda has lead, and lead is a very heavy metal, and nothing can remove it from your body. It can spend 200 years in your body. but with Betagard, which was developed by Dr. Arthur Fast, that lead can be removed from the body. And that's why it is recommended that everyone should detoxify once a year, once or twice a year. It is because of these products which were developed by Dr. Arthur Fast. And one of the things I remember I was told about Dr. Arthur Fast, every day he used to read more than 4 volumes of books. And that means up to the age of 92 when he passed on, he used to read on a daily basis. And why was he reading? He wanted to understand more and more and get more information to the people about what is good for the body, you know, because there are so many things which we put into our body, but a lot of research. He spearheaded a lot of research with so many other members of the board, because on the board we had other doctors like Dr. Fred Hooper, John Miller, and these are guys who were experts in all these areas. And one of the things which I remember, one time Dr. Fred Hooper, whom you see on that on the screen, he came to Uganda, and one of the things I will never forget, which he told us, was about the product called Cruciferous Plus. Now, Dr. Fred Hooper is a nutritionist. He has a PhD in biochemistry. And he told us that with Cruciferous Plus, the men who are suffering with prostate, it can work very, very well. He told us a story of a man who had stage 4 cancer of the prostate. And the doctor told him within 6 months you'd be dead. And when he came across the nutritional products where he was recommended 1 Cruciferous Plus per day, he said, I'm going to take 9. After all, I'm going to die. And 6 months later, he met his doctors who were shocked. So what am I saying? These guys come up with products which are really, you know, they believe in them. And I was privileged in 1997. I visited San Francisco, California, and they took us to a factory where they pack NutriShake. And one of the things I noticed was that these guys are so careful. The labs are so clean, top notch. You had to go in when you are very hygienically, you know, prepared. They don't just allow you to enter. But, you know, we were really cleaned up to make sure that we don't take any disease there. And we found there people working seriously, scientists, and they were really coming up with the best for us. So when it comes to quality, one of the things you need to know is that our company So, ladies and gentlemen, with this scientific advisory board, which you see there, you can be sure that our products are guaranteed and that we are going to have the best from the best source. And Neolife put there a budget. They have a budget for this scientific research. There's so much money on the account to do more research. That's why you see every time they come up with improved products. When I joined, garlic used to smell a lot, but now the garlic which we have is very well wrapped. When you take it, it does not smell as it should. But this is why we really have to put our arms up for Neolife, because it has the best for us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ladies and gentlemen, in your product catalog, you'll find information that has to do with the Scientific Advisory Board, which is a major part of our business. The products that we have, the reason why they work is because of those ladies and gentlemen that you see right there. We have also previously had the Health Professionals Council. I don't know if it still exists, but these are people in different regions around the world that are doctors that are in constant communication with the Scientific Advisory Board. Yeah. Moving down to our catalog, you'll find the most important product that Neolife considers, that we consider as the most important product that Neolife produces. It's our star product. It is the one where every single human being, when given the opportunity, needs to start with, and that is Pro Vitality. Okay, there's a whole lot of information on Pro Vitality. I think there are a couple of pages in there that talk about what is contained in Pro Vitality, product by product, from threonine to carotenoid complex, to omega-3, to the essential vitamin and mineral complex. All those things are clearly put out in the catalog, and details of which are every one of them is then described in the next pages. As you can see, you will have a whole description on what threonine does. Okay, you'll have a whole description on what carotenoid does, a bit of the scientific research that has been done. For example, the fact that carotenoid complex actually boosts your immunity by about 37% in just 20 days. Many of us do not understand how how important that statement is. Very few, if not none. I see Dr. Kabugo is on the call. I see Dr. Kabugo. Sorry if I could have gotten off a bit there. Dr. Kabugo is on the call. Kindly, Dr. Kabugo, could you kindly just share with us your experience in as far as carotenoid complex is concerned? How have you been able to appreciate Neolife over the last 1.5 years, as you have been involved in it very seriously when it comes to, say, a product and the science that is behind a product like carotenoid complex? I hope I'm not wrong. Dr. Kabugo should be on the call to just share with us his experience in that area. We said we were going to do this together, so in the event that we are on the call, kindly just share what you have. It's not supposed to be any complex. Okay, Dr. Kabugo is not available now. Trying to look for someone else, a testimony, perhaps. In as far as yes, I see Drani Christopher is on the call. Drani, I was with you in Arua the other day. I hope you learned how to unmute. Don't worry, we are learning together. Zoom is a new thing. We shall work through it together. Drani, can you share your testimony about carotenoid complex? Drani Christopher, about carotenoid complex and how it was able to help you with the challenge that you had. You could just kindly click the unmute button. It will allow you to speak. Okay, thank you, Christopher. Go ahead.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Christopher, we can hear you.
Okay. I love the products. Actually, carotenoid complex and the threonine. I had a challenge of chest pain. Professionally, I'm a mechanical engineer. I'd worked on a truck excavator. This is a tractor which has the chain, and it does excavating the maram and also loads. So in the district, when they contacted me to come and work on the tractor, I worked. Then when I managed to make the tractor work, they said, okay, I should test it. So testing the tractor road test. So they took me, there were refugee settlement in Koboko. So I went to open roads in Koboko. So my duty was to excavate the maram, load it. That was in February when it was dry. So we did that work for about 1 month. With all that dust of the dry season and the smoke, I caught some. It was just a chest pain. The chest was paining, there was no cough. So when we came back, after finishing the work, I tried other medications like erythromycin, Cipro. I tried the PPF injection. The chest continued to pain. Now my wife said maybe this could be TB, but for TB they need the sputum. so that they could test what it is. And there was no sputum. So I had the upline, who is now Jen Airu. When I came to her, at that time I was not a member. So she told me, this case here, you try these products. So she gave me carotenoid complex and training. When I used carotenoid complex and training, just hardly 1 week, I had a cough. I had a sputum, which was hard like a charcoal, hard substance. The moment I spat off the substance, my chest cleared. I continued to use the products. And from that time up to today, I've never had that kind of cough again. And it was that thing which made me to join the company to become a distributor. So up to today, I'm a distributor because of the products. Thanks to Neolife International. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christopher, for your testimony. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why they refer to those two products as some of our best sellers, because of the need that people have for them. Yeah, because of the key role they play in our bodies. TNN, many of us may not appreciate, but you know, sometimes I hear a lot of nutritionists out there talk about this whole thing about balanced diet. And usually what comes to mind is I'm waiting to hear the part where they talk about how whole grains are so important, the importance of lipids and steroids. Sometimes I've been in a space where people have been invited to talk about nutrition, and someone comes up and says, I did nutrition and da 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 da, and then they begin to speak. But when they speak and I don't hear anything to do with whole grains, I'm very baffled by, you know, by the kind of information they're putting across. But again, I'm also very proud of the fact that in Neolife, we have been given this information and it's available for us. In fact, the information makes us so unique that sometimes some people think, are we serious about what we are talking about? Yeah, because perhaps it doesn't look as straightforward and common like many other people would expect. Yeah, but whole grains play such an important role, just like Drani has testified, and so does the need to protect ourselves as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you use your catalog, you'll find that a lot of information has been put in there in regards to threonine and carotenoid, and also furthermore in regards to omega-3 and multi-mineral. That information is available to you. I would encourage every distributor on the call to please utilize this information so that you can have it on your fingertips to be able to tell another person out there that is in need of the same information. The catalog then goes on to talk about protein, delicious daily nutrition. And I think one of the products I feared most when I just started Neolife was Neolife Shake. You know, in fact, it would be on a special day like your birthday, where you would, so to say, invest in a Neolife Shake, for yourself. You know, and I found that quite interesting because of its price, people kind of feared it. But I like the fact that Dr. Esezza, having come into our lives and has been able to demystify this this thinking that Neolife Shake or the protein shake is really for special people on special days. This is something that is definitely capable of helping you throughout your day-to-day bit. And maybe I would like to invite Dr. Esezza in regards to the protein, just to share with us, as the catalog says, you know, just for that distributor that is on call that's here for the very first time, just want to know why would, in just a few words, why would you advise them to take protein themselves? You know, because we've encouraged them and we have been very excited about that. Thank you.
Okay, I'm actually very proud of you all for taking it up and beginning to use it. And we here in South Africa use it regularly. I always have it in my home without fail. And just now, our vanilla, which I prefer because of its neutrality, has just returned. Otherwise, there was a major panic when it was out of stock for almost a month and a bit. Anyway, this is the analogy I give, and I hope it will make sense to you. If you build a house, right? Let the house be, the analogy being your cells being many, many houses. And now you've built this house, but you forgot to put windows and doors. So shame, they're not even obumori, those, what do you call them? The ventilators in the roof, in the wall. It's just built, but no exit, no entry. That is what you're doing to yourself if you are not using a shake. So you can take all the tree and then you can take the omega, which might go some way to making the cell membrane fluid and pliable and, you know, malleable, but there is no exit or entry, and therefore you haven't really done a good job of building. That is how I use the analogy to show the very important role that the 22 amino acids have in building all the components of protein. So you need what we call globulins. That is a specific branch of proteins. And you need all the albumin, you need all the peptides, you then need all the antibodies and the enzymes and the hormones. None of those will be built unless you have what is in those shakes, which are all the 22 amino acids, plus the vitamins and the minerals and the correct ratio of fat and carbohydrate. So it's the most, in my opinion, brilliant product there is. So its applications are obvious, you know, apart from what I've just talked about. A lot of people are battling with weight management, and that's where it does it so beautifully by controlling the glycemic response. And yeah, that's what we have. So please, guys, it's not a luxury. It's the best investment you will make, especially in your children as well. I remember when my kids were small, I really battled to get them to accept it, but they do, and they see that there's a need for it. Failing that, you will always wonder why you're doing this business, but not quite getting to the level you want to get. And maybe just a few missing amino acids, and your hormones are not quite right. You don't have the motivation and the drive. Can you see all these dots that you can connect just because of the right nutrition? So let's not skimp. Let's not think that it is only for your birthday and you're doing yourself a huge favor, because you won't convince anybody else, guys. You cannot. You just cannot convince people if you yourself are not convinced. Yeah, so that's all I have to say on that one.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Esezza. And I don't know if there's someone who has a testimony on the Neolife Shake. Please kindly put up your hand. We give you a chance to testify. I remember when Irene was born, she was on breast milk for about 6 months, but then I think in about the 5th month, we started introducing some of that other milk that people usually use. I forgot what to say. I think it was either SMA or Cow and Get. But what we were also advised to do, again by Dr. Esezza and I think also by Charlie, we're advised that you get the shake like that, and then you add a scoop sorry, I can't find the scoop now. You add a scoop of the shake, and you also add a scoop of that other milk, the cow and get or whatever you're using, and then you'll see your child, pick up a lot of good protein, which is shown in the way their body is formed. Irene as a child had a very, very firm body. She was not flabby. She was energetic, big, but firm. That kind of thing. So if you're on the call and you're thinking about Neolife Shake, just like Dr. Esezza said, it's not just for your birthday. It is actually a key need for your health. Joyce, I believe you have a testimony to add on to that. Thank you,
Good
Karombo.
morning, everybody.
Yes, we're going to testify.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Please go ahead, Joyce.
Actually, Neolife Shake is one of my favorite products. Even at just the mention of it, I just feel nice inside. When I joined the business, I was 104 kilograms. I had high cholesterol, I had acne on the face, and I had chronic fatigue. Of course, I started with detox and later moved on to our weight loss program. And the Neolife Shake helped me in meal replacement. When you take Neolife Shake, for example, I used to take in the morning and at lunchtime, and then I take my mini meals in between. And it gives you that feeling of satiety. You feel like you have eaten. It's a full meal. You feel you have eaten, and you don't keep biting or it's called what? It's called snacking. So it's a very good feeling product that helps you to hold you to the next meal. So once you take in the morning, it can hold you up to 10 or 11. Then you can have a mini meal. And then at lunchtime, you take it again, it can hold you up to 4 for another mini meal. And you find that by the end of that, you are losing weight very, very comfortably. You're not fatigued, you're not tired, you're not hungry, you are okay. And of course now, as you lose weight, this is protein and it's for bodybuilding as well. So your muscles are also building. You're not going to lose muscle as you lose weight. So I think I don't want to share too much, but basically that's what I feel about Neolife Shake. I treasure it, and it is on my next month's list of products. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joyce. Riziki, you had something to add as well? Your testimony? Oh, yeah. Riziki, kindly remove the earphones so that you don't get the feedback. Okay, go ahead. Yes, we can now hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Riziki.
Yes, I'm Riziki, based in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. I want to add something that excited me when I was, I offered one of my bosses whose grandchild was born with HIV. I remember I advised her to take shake targeted bitter square. But he was not motivated and he was not convinced. He said, let me try Vitagadi and the Neolife Shake. In a span of 2 weeks, the kid that was born with HIV, she was sluggish, very slow, but after using the 2 products within a span of only 2 weeks, there was a marvelous changes to that kit. So I'm trying to add on the beauty of Neolife Shake. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Riziki. We appreciate your addition. And ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to have a superb, nice looking skin, yes, All our skincare products are there. The training will help you from the inside, but if you want it to go to the next level, beautiful, glowing, beautiful skin, you just need to take Neolife Shake. You can almost tell that someone is on Neolife Shake by the glow they have. And I think there's someone that has just testified. I remember she started the other day, and one of the products she started using was Neolife Shake. And after 2 weeks, when I went back to see Ruth Namialo, where she was working from, I could see the glow that had come with the skin because of using Neolife Shake. You know, maybe Ruth could also just testify for us. Ruth Namialo, if you're there, kindly just tell us how Neolife Shake has been of help to you. You know. Okay. Okay, Ruth is not in. Yes, Dr. Esezza, I think you're also giving us another test. Thank you.
It's more just a little point I want to add. And it was brought up to my attention when I recently presented on HIV. Riziki has reminded me. And if you listen to that presentation, I said that the cells that produce antibodies and all those immune cells that are involved in immunity have a lifespan of about 4 days. And then after that, they sort of die off. Now, that should give you an indication as to why it is important to take the nutrients regularly. And regularly can mean for you doing a Neolife Shake on alternate days. Or, you know, so that you have some cover. The ideal is daily, at least once daily. That's the ideal. But then one has to balance the budget all the time. And obviously, as you build your business, it becomes easier because you are paid more to afford these products. And that is how this business works. But please try and use it regularly. At least initially, you might say Monday and Thursday. Okay, that gives you the 4 days, hopefully, to build those immune boosting cells or immune participating cells, and then step it up to 3 times a week, then 4 times a week, until you get there to daily. So yeah, that's my piece of advice. I don't know.
Thank you.
Whether one can add.
Thank you very much, Dr. Esezza. Thank you so much. Ruth, kindly share with us your testimony on how the shake was able to help you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Do you hear me? Good afternoon. Yes. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, it is true. I am testifying against Neolife Shake. When I used it, my skin started growing and everybody was asking me, what do you use? And I was excited about the product because my skin has really changed up to now. And secondly, I was busy at work, so I never got to get worried about breakfast and lunch. And all my colleagues were asking me what was I taking because they were not seeing me crying for I'm so hungry. So that is it.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ruth, for your testimony. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to call it a day. That's why we're going to stop with the catalog this week. To next week, we shall return and start right from the targeted solution of weight loss. And the purpose of doing this is so that for those that are new in the business, the new distributors, we can be able to help you familiarize yourself with the product catalog. Yeah, it's one of those tools that just by sharing with people and letting them know about what the products can be able to do for you, you can be able to really impact so many human beings out there. Yeah, and in so doing, we've also been tackling a bit of handling of objections. We did spend some time discussing on the Neolife difference. Those when you have gone through that page on the Neolife difference and the scientific advisory board, it will answer so many questions in as regards to quality of the products, whether you can trust the company. You know, if the founder himself with the family have been using these products for the last 65 years. Incidentally, Jerry Basfield was born in 1940, so 2023 is making 83 years of age. And considering the fact that he was born with asthma and all that, believe me, this is something that definitely is going to help so many other people out there. And that shouldn't question. So when people ask you questions that question the integrity of the products, you just have to go back and turn to those pages of the product catalog and you will be able to answer their questions. So perhaps in closing, I would like to call my friend Aune all the way in Namibia to just give us some closing remarks from this morning. Our world team member in Namibia, Salome, I know you've been there listening in. We just want to hear a bit from you and share with us your excitement.
Wow, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this platform, Andrew. We appreciate what you are doing. And thank you for Margaret and Dr. Esezza for those beautiful, really insight of us looking into catalogs and helping us and helping our downlines and our team to really know how to show and how to explain more of our business. I think before I do the closing remarks, I also just wanted to add on the shake, the protein shake. This week, we were also having a training and we were talking about the shake. And one of my downlines said we should just look, if you want to sell or if you want to convince someone about protein, because we're talking how, you know, every one of us need protein. And I'm just looking at myself. I also have a daughter, my last born. She was born like a bit, we would say weak or slow or whatever, but after she turned, I think 6 months, we put her on the shake and her body started glowing. The body started, the muscle pick up and everything just changed. It's really, protein is such a game changer. Now, when we were talking about that, my downline in the training said, if you want to convince somebody about buying or using the protein, just turn on our catalog and make them read, and you must understand and explain what our catalog is saying about the protein. And when we look at that, really what they were saying about the protein is just the catalog have just said it so much, and it's saying it so well. So as I am concluding, or as I'm giving you the conclusion, I just want to tell you that if you want to know the best of this product, the best thing to do is to use it yourself. Because once you just use it, it will be so easier for you to convince the next person. It will be so easier for you to show, because you become really a product of a product. And when you are having your before, a lot of people, they will be convinced. That's why we have the best. Neolife, for me, I have also been using it for the past 17 years, and I have never looked for any other product. Like the omega-3, it's so good. Like the 3NN, once you use it, your whole skin, your whole being, you become a better person. And every time you are getting compliments, you are sharing the product with other people. That's why I want to encourage everyone, if you are new in the business, or maybe you are old in the business, try to use any other new product that you can use, because once you use that product, you'll be so excited about sharing it with other people. Thank you so much, Andrew. Let me end here, and we are looking forward to sharing next week, and as we are building this business and as we are excited, not only using the product, but really making the difference and making the impact in our generation. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you, Salome. Ladies and gentlemen, see you tomorrow. Husna Husna, all the way from Dar es Salaam. 3Ruby Director will be sharing with us her story. So we look forward to hosting you all. Log in early and let's invite our guests to be part of the training. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m. And God bless. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you all for sharing your testimonies. Thank you very much.